But first, an interview with Pensions Minister, the Right Honourable Baroness Altmann. She's a well-known campaigner for pensions fairness and reform, including a lengthy campaign for the protection of victims of failed pension schemes. She explains to our reporter how the pension reforms will affect us.
Baroness Altmann, I know you've only been in the job a few months, but as always with pensions, there's plenty to talk about. So shall we start with auto-enrolment? It's been a success for larger companies. Deadlines loom for many smaller and medium-sized companies. Do you understand the concerns that they have around the potential cost and administrative burdens, and what can government and others do to best support them?
I absolutely understand the costs and the concerns that smaller employers have. It's vital that we do help people save, and auto-enrolment is a revolution in workplace pensions. We've simplified the state pension system so that it can provide a base on which to build your private savings. Now we are making sure that you will, by default, if you like, be opted into a pension scheme at work.
It has been a success, but then we hear that young people are still not saving enough for their retirement, and they're not saving early enough.
The interesting thing is that actually the younger people who have been automatically enrolled are tending to stay in. Now, of course, we have to recognise that the current contribution rates are very low. Even when automatic enrolment is fully rolled out, you will be talking 8% of a portion of people's earnings. Everybody in this room knows that that is not enough. But the first thing we must focus on is actually getting pensions established as the normal part of the workplace. And I'd like everybody in the industry to help us as well.
You mentioned the wider industry there, and one of the things that has left them feeling a little uneasy are the Chancellor's proposals for changes in tax. Do you understand that uneasiness?
The Treasury has actually already introduced what I think are really important and brilliant reforms to the pension system. So let's wait and see what happens. We all want pensions to work better for people. We all want to make sure that we give good incentives for people to save into a pension scheme and to keep their money.
6 months on from pension freedoms, are you happy with the policy the way it stands? Do you think it needs to be refined? Is there more that could be done to protect people who now have more responsibility over their own pension pots?
I actually think that the reforms that we have introduced were long overdue. I do trust the British people with their own money, and I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. We are in the middle of this revolution. The new system clearly needs consumers to understand more about pensions, and that's why we've set up the Pension Wise Guidance Service. What I also think is really important in the new freedom landscape for pensions is that people understand enough about the do-nothing option. You don't want to spend your pension too quickly, and you don't want to take it out of the pension wrapper too soon. Keep it in there. It will work better for you. It's tax-free while it's in there. If you don't use it, it passes on tax-free. All of those messages haven't yet filtered through to the general public.
Now, you've been a pensions advisor for many, many years, well known to a lot of people. You're now a pensions minister. You've inherited a lot of policy that you didn't necessarily formulate yourself. Just wondering what the challenges are in that and how much you relish being this side of the fence as opposed to that side.
Well, having spent so many years advising governments on pensions policy, I am now excited about the idea of hopefully having the chance to impact policy more directly. We've had enormous changes in the industry, and I'm mindful of that. I want to make sure that both the public and the industry have a chance to understand the new landscape and make it work as well as it can, being mindful of both what needs to be done and the timing of what needs to be done when we are talking about future developments.
Baroness Altmann, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.